I think both of us just independently have had the idea of like, how cool would it be to have like our own women's team one day? And I think there's only so many times you can look at something and be like, I could do this a lot better before you actually have to back that statement up. And I think Kendall said the quiet part out loud of like, if we could do it a lot better, we should probably just do it. So,
do it ourselves.
So that's kind of what we're doing. I think it just took meeting the right person and the right things unfolding for us to be like, we have to do this and we have to do this now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bonk Babes podcast. This week we're having Laurel and Kendall on from, I'm going to have to look up the team name again because they said it, Caldura Medical Aurora Racing. And I know that I'm saying that probably wrong, but they do say it right. And Kendall did say that it starts to roll off the tongue. So I think I just need to say it a few times and then it'll roll right off the tongue. But we had them on the podcast. So those are the people that started the team that Esma is now on. So yeah, it was nice talking to them about all crit stuff, their perspective on women's racing and how they want to develop like cycling in the women's field, which is really cool to hear their take. And I think they had some great takeaways on where they see the sport going and also like their benefits and like how they're helping to make it better for everyone else, which is really cool. And this episode is sponsored by Bike Tires Direct. So if you head over to biketiresdirect.com, they have just about everything that you need from like clothes, shoes, socks, what else? Helmet, sunglasses, bike, components. I don't know if they have bikes on there, but et cetera, et cetera. So they have like literally everything that you need for biking. So if you head over to Bike Tires Direct and you use the code Bonk Babes in all caps, you will get 10% off of your purchase. So make sure to go to Bike Tires Direct and get anything that you need cycling wise. And I hope that you guys enjoy this episode. Bye.
Hey, Bonk Baddies.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Good
morning.
We have some special guests with us who are near and dear to my heart. We have Kendall Ryan and Laurel Rathburn, some fellow crit queens to join the pod today. I know we talked lots of crit last week with Danni and myself, but we're going to do it again. So get used to it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, Danni, here are your true crit experts here. Yeah, what have you two been up to, Kendall and Laurel? I know you guys just got back from Tucson doing a little junior training camp, I think, with ACC.
Yeah,
out there.
we were in Tucson with the ACC mentorship program. So, yeah, we were riding and hanging out with a few juniors and kind of just letting them know what's up with racing and kind of the pathway into going to junior worlds and any tips and tricks that we have, or we talked some periods, we did all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it was a really cool camp and it just was super fulfilling, and I'm glad Laura and I were able to have that opportunity to go over there.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. We didn't really know what we were getting into. We hadn't done it before. We just heard, hey, do you want to mentor some juniors? And we're like, yeah, of course. 'Cause we both started racing super young and going to junior camps all growing up. And I think we both know how valuable that experience is, and mostly just, bonding with other kids, doing a lot of like good like skills and drills. And I think getting the chance to really talk about to racing and a career path and all the different opportunities and things that there are is really important. And another cool element of the camp was it was hosted by the Cycling House in Tucson. So people can pay to come on really cool trips down to Tucson and fully supported rides, live-in chef and just great route planning. It's like planning and riding, and it was trying to combine. Just great guides, had everything that we needed. So we had a great experience, and then just got to offer a little insight along the way. Do some sprints. Actually, Kendall won. There were some awards at the end of the week giving out some like superlative awards. Kendall won most disruptive rider.
Yes,
Because
Kendall's attacking the group ride.
She can't even help it. She's like sitting on. You know, I'm on the front pole. She's like, watch this.
Dude, that's how it is.
It was funny too because one of the guides was like, oh, this would be a good section to like, you know, kind of go hard and do whatever. And everyone was like, no, we're just chilling. And I like couldn't help myself. I was like, itching to go. And then, this little like downhill, like kind of undulating section came up and I was like, all right, it's time.
Sprinters are always
juniors. What's up?
Sprinters are always the froggiest.
The group ride.
Yeah, it blew up the group ride. Yeah. I ended up getting dropped too, but it was worth it.
But I bet the juniors at that age are like fearless as well, aren't they?
Oh,
I bet
yeah.
they just want to do everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal.
And they just
kids.
go so hard. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. They were awesome. They were so willing to learn and to ask questions, which was so cool to see. And then the juniors that were there, they were there because they had won the ACC. I think it was the Junior Cup.
Yeah, the series like in their age group. Yeah.
So their prize was they got to go, and that was paid for, I think, by Renaissance Financial. And if they were, I think, under 18, they had to have a chaperone. So some of their kids had their parents there. And just from having a dad that rides and getting to do so many cool trips and adventures and things, just like an incredible experience. You're like out riding Mount Lemon with your dad when you're like 16, and you're sprinting him to the town line sprints. Like that is just such a core memory. And that was actually one of the things one of the girls' dads told me, is he was just like, this is awesome. Like this is such a core memory.
Yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah. He said we were kind of iffy on coming, timing, and the weather was not great in Tucson. He's like, but we heard, you and Kendall were coming. And so we had to make the trip out. And that just meant, I was like, my heart.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. It's cool. It's good to feel like you're doing something helpful and giving back. I think that's a lot. That's something Kendall and I have talked a lot about with our team, is that from a cycling and athlete perspective, it's so much of taking, like, give me this, give me this, give me this. And so to be able to be like, I'm doing something to help someone else, feels good.
Yeah.
And it's probably, I don't know how you guys feel, but like looking back in the early days of your career, do you both find that you were even more like restricted with what you both had to offer? So now if you can offer these youngsters like a lot more, it's so important, because like you've seen how women's cycling's evolved, right?
Yeah. It feels like like the last couple of years, I'm stepping into this role of like, I'm going to give like, all the knowledge that I have and all the like, the experience that I have. I want to share that, and I want to pass on, and help someone else, do it better. And so, like even one of the questions I received while I was at the camp was like, went to this really cool, like, USA Cycling Junior Camp in Europe. And like, now I just don't really know like what's next. Like, I don't really have any like guidance, and like, what's your advice on like, like, I don't know what my goals are now. Like, I don't know what to do, And so I was like, that's okay. Well, here you go. So now you're a 17, 18. And as a 17, 18, you have a chance to, go to junior worlds like each year. So now for the next 2 years, like your goal is to try to make the junior worlds team. That's like your big goal. And then, you just kind of backtrack from there and just like set all these other smaller goals to like get to that big goal. And she was like, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. And so I was like,
so cool.
Yes, let's go. So yeah, that was a really cool moment. So yeah, just things like that like it's something that I kind of had to figure out and didn't really know either. And, I had my dad kind of holding my hand, and he kind of knew some of the things. But yeah, some juniors, they just don't really know or like have the advice or whatever. So to be able to like, give them some advice and some help along the way is like super fulfilling.
Yeah, it's so cool.
We
Yeah.
also grew up in like pretty, good cycling areas. Kendall was in SoCal and I was in Colorado. So like good amount of junior teams growing up and just kind of like connections to the right people. And they were asking like, how'd you get your first pro contract? Like, how'd you get on this team? How'd you do this? And Kendall and I both had the same answer. Like we, definitely got fortunate with having good teams and good support, but there's like a good amount of networking involved and sort of putting yourself out there. And Kendall told a great story about, like going up and introducing herself to the Timco team. And I had to kind of do the same thing on the cross side of like introducing myself to people and be like, no, I'm a junior, but I want to race for your team one day. And just kind of putting yourself out there is a little bit tough. So people start to like look at you and recognize you and then, recognize your name on the results and kind of going from there. So that's was a good thing, I think, to share for them to really realize like, oh, it doesn't
gotta
just
advocate for yourself. Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
You really have to.
Yeah.
Nothing comes for free.
Yeah. This is kind of a cheesy question, but how, like Laurel, you said that your dad was a cyclist, but how did you guys both start biking? I feel like it's important because in women's cycling, I think that's so interesting that like women's bodies are like so incredible that like some people can start off at like 21 and still be pro when they're 23, and then like other people can start off like way younger and still be racing those people like older. So when did you guys start, and like motivators, mentors, that type of stuff?
Kendall, do you want to go?
Okay, I'll go.
You start first.
Yeah, so I started racing bikes when I was like 6 years old. We had this like BMX track down the street, and so I'd just be chasing my brother around, and all the other boys that were racing BMX. And I was never any good, but it was just like, something really fun to do. And then my dad and my mom were both triathletes at the time. Like my dad's done like so many freaking Ironmans, and
my gosh,
my mom was my mom was a professional triathlete for 2 years.
Dang, slay.
And my parents actually met on the bike. My dad was chasing my mom down and like couldn't catch her until she bonked.
That's funny.
And was like cramping and bonking. And and then he was like, caught up to her. He's like, hey girl, you need a banana. So
what a pickup line.
Yeah. So that was that. But yeah, so but yeah, my dad was doing triathlons and was struggling in the cycling leg of the Ironman and wanted to get better at the bike leg. And so he started taking us to all these weekend crit races and road races. And so that's kind of like where I started, was like crit racing. We started going to crit races like every weekend. And at first I was like, okay, this little family thing, like kind of like, yeah, whatever. But then I started winning races. And like one of the races that kind of hooked me was I won state championships, and I won, the Bear Jersey, California Republic. I had a cool little swag bag, and I was like, this is kind of tight. And yeah, it kind of from there just hooked me. And, I was always racing against the boys. So I was like winning quite a lot of races because I was like one of the only ones. And then I kept winning, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm actually like good. And so then I went to some talent ID camps when I was like 15, 16. My first travel was going to the Belgium House in Isegem, and started racing some kermesses over there, did pretty well. And then I got to keep traveling with USA Cycling. And so I'm super grateful for those opportunities, because I was able to go to all these, junior development camps, learn skills and drills, play foot down, try to pick up bottles off the ground, learn all these skills like at a really young age that just like I, still do randomly, like with like other people that I'm trying to teach those skills to. But yeah, like I think when I really started taking it seriously was when I started traveling to Europe, and, I turned like 17, 18, like first year out of high school, was able to like get on a pro team and started traveling the world. And like now I've raced in over 40 countries, and, been to the Olympics and been to the World Championships 5 or 6 times. And so like, it's pretty amazing what cycling can do for you. Like you can travel the world and see the world and have all these like crazy cool experiences. So yeah, that's basically how I got into cycling was my family and my dad. My dad played a huge part in it.
Cute.
It's very similar. My dad was really the reason I got into cycling as well. I come from an athletic family, and I think my parents, super young, knew that. They're like, all right, we're athletic. Our kids have to be athletic. So like the youngest legal age, they're like, let's put them in sports. And I started off doing triathlons, and my dad was like a marathon runner. So he blew out his knees, had to start riding, and he put my brother on the tandem with him, and then they attached a trailer bike. And I was on the back, and my mom called it the Wobble Express, and we just ran down the road like the 3 of us. I'm like leaning side to side, trying to see how far over. Yeah. Apparently,
Oh my God.
My dad did not. Yeah, he's like, don't do that.
Laurel will always find a way to have a good time.
I will. I was like, I'm not here to contribute to this going fast. I'm here to have a good time. Have a good time. But I think I had to do everything that my brother was doing. Very competitive person. One of my friends was recently asking my dad, they're like, oh, what was Laurel like as a kid? It's like, oh my gosh, just so competitive. Both me and my brother, everything he did, it was like, who can unload the dishwasher the fastest? Who can like unbuckle their seatbelt the fastest and like run upstairs the fastest? And so I think everything that I did, I was like, I gotta do this and I gotta win and I gotta be the fastest. So they put us in, found junior races that we could do in Colorado, and I started racing when I was 7, and I did a lot of other sports, and I don't know how I really ended up with cycling out of all the sports that I did. Because I was doing triathlons, like I did soccer, I did lacrosse, I did fencing in there at some point too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
I can see
it. Yeah, so nobody challenged me to a sword fight, I guess.
That's hilarious.
I think I know it's just such like a random statement. Nobody challenged me to a sword fight. I'd like to put that on a t-shirt and just wear that. I feel like I get challenged a lot then. I think there's just this freedom that comes with cycling, and as Kendall was mentioning, like getting to go to these junior camps and getting to go race in Europe, like it's such a cool experience, especially when you're in high school, like getting able to do that travel. And it also forces you to be like really independent, because my parents just started sending me to junior camps or some of the Cal ID camps, by myself when I'm 15, put me on a plane and was like, all right, go figure it out. And like going to Europe for the first time when you're 17 and trying to figure out the trains, you're like, oh, stressful.
Yeah.
Stressful, but it's good. Definitely a good learning experience. And I think that's kind of just what really kept me in it. And I gravitated more on the dirt side. My first pro contract came from cyclocross, so that was really like my focus that I was doing. And then I was kind of using road to supplement that training. And in 2016, I was 20. I was racing over in Europe at the Tour of Britain and had a really bad crash. Ended up hitting a guardrail, like broke a bunch of bones. So I was like collarbone, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers, and then also like tore 2 nerves like right near my spinal cord, and like had a TBI. So it was so bad. I like couldn't use my right arm for a year. Got to have some surgeries, and I ended up retiring from the sport. It was kind of weird to like retire so young, and I was like, I haven't really even made it. Like kind of just started racing in Europe. I've kind of just started to do it, and I'm kind of already out of it. So took a good like 5 years off, and I've just come back to the sport over the last few years. And I'm so happy that I did. Like it just, I think all the pieces sort of aligned to put me in the path where I get to be like teammates with Kendall, and just it was just sort of this immediate like great friendship. And then now it's blossomed into, something even bigger and more beautiful. And so happy for that path. But I feel like I've lived a couple different lives in cycling so far.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with the bike. It's like that not everyone does talk about is like the bike does take you to the most beautiful places in the world. And like you do these incredible races and everything, but it's also the biggest emotional roller coaster of your life.
Yeah.
Like one day you love it, one day you hate it. Yeah. Some pretty dark races. So I mean, Laurel, obviously you experiencing that crash and you must have had huge mental battles to decide whether to carry on or not. Like, Kendall, have you had a time in your career as well that you've had to like battle through these?
Yeah.
We just had this conversation last week and we were both crying.
Oh no, sorry.
No, I won't cry about it now. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, you work so hard towards a goal and then like, my big goal was going to the Olympics and I ended up kind of coming up short and being an alternate. So I was like, that was a super hard experience for me and like took me a while to like kind of work through that and not be like angry about it anymore and like, find my love for cycling again because, I was like, oh, well, what now? What do I do now?
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of like finding your path back to like loving the sport again. Really for me, it was like kind of going full circle and coming back to like where I started, which was like crit racing. So, yeah, that's why I really focused hard on, just being a crit rider. And, I raced for Legion for 5 years and, absolutely smashed it and had a lot of successes and a lot of great times with awesome teammates and, really good people. And so, yeah, now I'm like, all right, well, Laurel and I, we can start a girly whirly team and we can have a lot of fun and we can develop a lot of riders, grow this program out and give back to the sport. Cause, I know I'm not going to be, racing professionally forever. So, I feel like I'm probably towards the end of my career and I want to like make sure that I can like create something that, that gives back to the sport and that I'm passionate about. And, so that's kind of like my why of what we're doing.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about cycling is that, women really don't reach their peak until, in their 30s, which is awesome to see. So kind of a rare thing that, to be able to like take a break from the sport and then come back to it.
And you don't realize that there's such a longevity in the sport too.
Yeah, I was doing triathlon and then I was doing rowing. And when I came into cycling, I was 24 and I was getting results, but World Tour teams were saying, "This, you're doing amazing, but you're just too old. You're too old." And then
Isn't that crazy?
Which is crazy.
And that's how I felt at the Olympics too. They're just like, you're older, like you're gonna, gonna get injured easily, or whatever it was.
And then, I mean, you look at lifetime in the gravel scene this year. I think majority of the women are over 30.
Yeah.
And like some of, the most top athletes in cycling, really. Which is crazy. And I just think it's also a message to like the young people that are, 17, 18, a bit lost with their sport, don't know if they love the direct. Like, it's okay to take a break and like come back to it. But yeah, I just feel like
I think the sweet spot for endurance is really like in your 30 to 40 range. Yeah. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize like, in cycling in the endurance category, like you're kind of like fine wine, like you just get better with age. And a lot of people, that's a lot of like missed opportunities for people because they think that they're done. Maybe they're mentally fizzled out, but maybe someone put that in their head that they can't do it anymore because of their age. But I mean, so many women have proven that wrong. And we've got Kristen Armstrong winning a gold medal at 40. Like, I know she's a freak, but like it's possible, and she's like one of those people that's breaking down that barrier of thought.
And like Lindsey Vonn too, winning the World Cup.
Crazy.
It's not just cycling.
So cool.
It's awesome. It's really cool to see. And I mean, even if the body keeps can keep going and can keep enduring, the mental aspect is really tough with I think probably all professional sports, but for the most part there's a lot more bad days than good days. And you gotta assess, like, do the good ones outweigh the bad ones? And
For sure.
it's that's I guess personal to everyone, but that's a huge battle, and I think the longevity of the sport too. And I think it's getting a lot. I think it's getting a lot better. I think that's a lot healthier perspective on things like training and eating, and
Yeah.
helping with the longevity of the sport, and people staying in it, because it is so easy to burn out in
Yeah,
a sport
totally.
like cycling.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
Be like,
it's like the education of it. Because when you said Tour of Britain, it reminds me when I first did Tour of Britain, I think we were given like 2 gels or something.
like, there's plenty.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Go on 60 grams for a few hours,
Yeah.
you'll be all right.
Like 100 calories.
It's like,
Not just gels, but here's caffeine gels. So you can bonk too. And cramp.
Exactly. It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, I remember, Kendall, even like when you started coaching me last year, I remember there was one time like you were just like, you're still so young. And I was 26 and I'm like, no one has said that to me. Absolutely. Nobody has given me the reassurance. And like, obviously in the back of my head, I also started, like, I've really only been doing this, like, committed to bike racing for the last 4 years, like, got into the game later. And so it's always been in the back of my head, like, oh, I'm on the back foot. I'm on the back foot. This is something I really love. But like, am I ever gonna, compare to the people who started doing this when they were a lot younger? And just like, I've looked up to Kendall my entire bike racing career. And then for you to just be like, oh, you're fine. Like, it's going to be fine. You have time. Like, you're young. Yeah. You have, so much ahead of you. And I feel like talking about sustainability in this sport, it is getting better. But I think cycling's always going to kind of have this, like, there's a lot of like toxicity in it too, right? Like where you're like trying to be skinnier and faster and younger, and all these things are just kind of playing in the back of your head. But the more that we talk about, like changing that narrative, especially I feel like criterium racing too opens the doors for these conversations more, because I do think there's a lot more people sustaining crit racing in America longer than maybe like a professional world tour career, because you can just do it longer. Like, I think people are balancing more things. They have like that work-life balance. They, they're not training 30 hours a week, and they're just able to do it till, they're 40 and then some, which is really cool to see too.
Yeah, I like
there's just oh, go ahead, Laura. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I love seeing, I think the, physique of a, typical criterium racer, of just being like, oh, they're strong, they're powerful. Yeah. That's cool to see.
I love like being able to like lift 3 times a week and like eat all my rice and pasta and like feel like I want to get stronger, because it's only gonna make me better on the bike. Which, like, I hope every cyclist can feel that. Back. No worries. Intermission for Laurel.
Yeah, for me, I think that was one of the biggest barriers that I had when I was a young junior, because like I came from, similarly to Laurel, like I was doing a bunch of high school sports. I did cross country, water polo, I played soccer. So I mean, I was around all these like really skinny girls, and I always felt like I was never really like lean looking, but I was strong. And like, I just had this like misconception of like what I needed to eat to like perform.
Yeah.
And, I'd see some professional riders like first couple of years on Tipco, like eating a bunch of spinach, and they're like climbers and, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to do that to be good, and I just, whatever you're seeing around you, whatever you're seeing other people do, you're like, oh, that's going to work for me. That's going to be, the key to like stepping up and being a pro. And it was just such an ass backwards like thing.
Yeah,
and I actually like lost a lot of weight the first like 2 years of my professional career, and like was almost like I was anemic, and I just I had no power, and there's some photos out there of skinny Kendall. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, now like I'm always like eating a lot of, carbs. For me, it's like food is fuel, and I need to feel my body so that I'm able to put out as much energy as I can. And so it's just being smart about like how much and when, and, putting the right things in your body. But yeah, that was one of the things that I had to learn. And I think now there's just so much more information out there, and it's not like such a weird topic anymore. So it's been cool to see the sport evolve, and now you see these girls that are just so strong and they're so muscular, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like this is just a big, like, great evolution of the sport, to see the healthy perspective of food, that the food is fuel. So that's been awesome to see that part of the sport change.
What kind of made you, Kendall, like stop racing with the continental team and like racing in Europe? Like what made you want to stay in the States? Like you've kind of done it all. Like you've been at the, highest level of bike racing, and like probably could have continued to pursue that too. So like what made you want to stay in America, race crits, when you probably had the options and possibilities to keep racing continental?
Yeah, I mean, I so I actually don't like racing in Europe that much.
That's so fair.
I don't really like living there either. I like living in the US. I love the convenience of everything. And I love the lifestyle, and I really wanted to see the side of American racing grow, because it was so big in the 90s, and kind of all of my idols from back when I started, like Mari Holden, she rode for T-Mobile. She was an Olympic champion and world champion, and I wanted to be like her. And she's like one of the people that really got me into cycling. Yeah, I really didn't want to live in Europe. I really didn't want to do those races anymore, because I just felt like it was burning me out. And I really loved being home, and I really loved the racing in the US. And I wanted to see the racing get bigger. And so, I guess that's kind of why I stuck around, because that was one of the big goals of Legion, was to try to bring more hype to, American cycling, and getting, growing crit racing in the US again, and having more international riders come over here and race. Because I do think that we have a very like fun, unique, race structure. And I think like in my mind, I would love to see a world championship crit race. I would love to see like crit racing in the Olympics. Like it's such a great spectator sport.
Yeah.
It's just super dynamic racing. It's every best part of a road race that I could think of, It's just not as long. It's just an hour. It's a block party with bike racing in the middle.
Yep.
It's like, that's my fun, and that's like, and I would love to share that with other people, and see if like that part of the sport could grow. I think it could, and I think it would be like, I feel like people now just don't have the attention span of like the European race structure. And, everyone in Europe, like that's their cup of tea. That's their like, cool sport. That's their culture. But it's just not here. And I want to see the crit racing grow in the US. And I think it's possible. And I think like the structure of crit racing is possible to grow in the US. But yeah, it just kind of needs like a worldwide attention for it to kind of catch any traction. So
I think because did you ever do the tour series in the UK? that like maybe not.
I don't think so. No.
But basically, like our scene, kind of similar to the US, sorry, like the racing kind of more races were getting cancelled and everything. And that whole crit series, which was huge, and it was an amazing spectator sport, that got cancelled as well.
Yes. So, I've seen stuff on social media about it. Yeah.
So that's why you're seeing so many more like the teams like Techers, they're coming over to the US because they're realizing that actually the hype and the big, if you want to be seen in the crit scene, like the US is the place to be. So I feel like it is on this like upward trajectory.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. Yeah. Especially the races like Tulsa, like Armed Forces, Chicago Grit, like all those big, like they're like crit stage races, and I think that those are super fun to do, and like the fitness that you get from them is amazing. And I think like those cities really are starting to show up too and like support the races, and that they're just getting bigger and bigger. Like Tulsa is insane. Like the entire city shows up. Some people fly in from other states around like to come watch this race and party, and like it's like so fun.
The cycling stuff up when you fly in, like you see, like that there's an event happening, and it's a bike race. It's
crazy.
Yeah, like Athens Twilight. Like Athens Twilight as a whole. Like I would love to see Athens Twilight be the world championship crit race. Like that would be so sick.
Oh my gosh! Wait, we should happen. Guys, because they do the single speed world champ single speed cyclocross.
Yeah, we just need to start it. We just need to,
and it's not like
just need to
real,
talk to the like how there's gravel worlds, but it's not actually like UCI gravel worlds. Yeah. Just make Athens Twilight. Just talk to the race director and be like, can we just
we can literally coin it. Like, let's just coin Criterium World Champs, and like we'll make merch. It will become a thing. Like we can do whatever we want to do. There's no rules.
There's gotta be like a holy grail, like every single genre has its like big moment, and like I think crit racing really needs that. I think that's what it's missing.
Yeah, so. I think so too. And like, I mean, even you see like the DCC guys. Like a lot of them are from Germany coming over and race crits. Like I tell Danny and Grace all the time, all the Oceania women from New Zealand and Australia who race crits all summer in the US to literally get stronger and to get the fitness to go race Olympic track races, because it gives you the speed, it gives you the skills, and it's just like connecting those dots of like, hey, like Criterium, like it's a really competitive field. Like we're racing against so many talented women who have gone to the Olympics, who have represented their nations at national championships, won national championships, worlds. Like it's truly like really impressive. And I think we just need like keep putting that out there and like show the competition and prove how competitive this sport really is. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, I mean, I think crit racing and track racing kind of go hand in hand. Like,
totally,
you need similar power bands to do both. There's similar race structures, like on the endurance side. Like crit racing is basically like either kind of like a mix between like a points race and a scratch race. So I mean, there's always like there's a race inside the race. There's a point structure of like. The sprinter's jersey inside the race, and then there's, the race at the end. So it just has a lot of cool elements. There's always like cash preems being thrown out, crowd preems, getting the crowd involved. So yeah, I think it could just be even bigger. So I'd love to advocate to like push for that. We need a world champs. I think that would be so sick.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
What would you tell people? I feel like crit racing is one of the most accessible things in the US other than gravel racing right now too. But I feel like there's a lot of fear around crit racing, which like every time I get like I was doing the little sprint clinic yesterday and it was so fun, and they were gravel racers, and I think they have interest in road, but there's always the question of like, well, it's scary and there's crashes. And I've raced some kermesses in Belgium too, and I definitely think there's something to say in terms of the people who grow up racing bikes just inherently are really, really good bike handlers, and they're really confident on the bikes. And I think we have a bit less of that here. So I do think like you can get into like a cat 4 or 5 pack and like not feel super comfortable. But what would you say to like the people afraid to race crits just because of crashing? And like how can we kind of like change that stigma?
I think there's like this algorithm y'all are on Instagram where it's like the algorithm's like, yeah, we're gonna show them all the crash videos.
It's so true.
But also
the
like
worst bits.
That's the only thing that people post. They either post on Instagram, they're like, I'm gonna post if I win, or I'm gonna post if there's a crash in front of me. And that's all you see about crit racing, which is not fair to the sport. The worst crashes I've ever had have been in a road race. And like, you know, it's just, there's crashes happen. It's part of the sport, unfortunately. But I mean, most of the time, crit racing, there's some bumping, there's, whatever, but it's like, it's no different than any other genre of sport, like crashes happen, people are competitive, people are trying to win. So there is something to be said in crit racing. There's a lot of turns. You're turning almost, every 10 seconds and sometimes. And so there's more possibility of you to like collide with another rider or someone to slip out in a turn. Maybe it's raining, maybe the road has a hole, whatever. But I think a lot of people, I think there's a lot of respect amongst the crit peloton. People have respect for each other, and they're not intentionally going out and like trying to crash somebody out. If someone bumps somebody in the women's peloton, like if someone bumps somebody on accident, they're apologizing immediately. But they don't post those videos on Instagram. It's like, come on. I was like, we have class out here. What is up with this?
We had Sofia Gomez Vichafanye on the podcast, and I feel like her personality and like confidence is very similar to yours, like from an outside point of view, right? Because like this is my first time talking to you, but I feel like you two both come across like really confident, and like you guys are really focused on the race and focused on winning because that's the goal and that's your job. But I think sometimes the media portrays you guys to seem like the bad guy or the villain, and it's like really it's not. But how do you work past that once, like after a race, if you see something like that about yourself and you're like, wait, that wasn't the whole clip, that wasn't the whole story, how do you keep moving on past that?
I mean, there's been some stuff thrown out there that like really bugs me. And I'm probably one of the nicest people in the peloton, to be honest. And I'm always giving girls advice, like, even that aren't my teammates, I'm always like, hey, just wait a little longer before you like, try to move up because you're just wasting energy. Like I'll literally just tell people that because I feel like they should know. Even though they're competing against me, so like I know who I am. I know I'm a good person. But yeah, I mean, there's stuff that's thrown out there. There's heat of the moments as well. Like I could definitely be a hothead at times. Like, but I mean, it's usually like after a sprint because I'm, my heart's in my throat and I'm seeing red because I'm literally going as hard as I can. So there can be times where I'm not the nicest person, but like, yeah, I mean, you'll see videos that Laurel posts on Instagram. She's leaving me out. She's my teammate, and I'm yelling at her. Like, but that's how we communicate. But it's like it's perceived as to people as like, oh, she's like really mean and she's like an awful person, and it's not true. So I just kind of like. Now I just kind of like, all right, brush it off, whatever. It does bug me, but it's just like. Whatever, people are going to think whatever they're going to think. You can't make everyone happy as long as you just like know that like you're a good person and you're always like putting your best foot forward in those types of situations. And if something happens in a race, you always go up and try to work it out with that other person and talk to them and apologize and say, yeah, sorry, I was kind of like didn't say it nice enough, but like I meant this, you know?
I think that's the thing, like everyone within the peloton, most of the time, unless it's like a repetitive thing that someone's picking on someone, like most of the time you just know that it's in the heat of the moment, you've yelled, and then at the end of the race, it's fine, you've hugged, it's over. But I think it's just like, it's just the media all over, right? Any little snippet of something they can grab or like,
they just love the drama, the tea. They were just like, they just want to stir the pot, you know? I get it. But it's not always the best, kind of attention, that you're giving people in the sport. And it's, you know, it's like, you're making people look bad at the end of the day. So that's not very nice. But, it's a hard line, but I mean, some people just, they're gonna think what they want to think anyway. Then you can't change their opinion. And at the end of the day, I don't care. I have a great life.
Yes.
I have a great support system. I love my teammates. I'm doing.
But also, you're in the spotlight because you're winning.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
So it's like, fuck you, say what you want, but I'm winning.
Yeah. And you know what? They're going to be mad that I'm winning. They're just jealous.
Yeah. That's what I was telling, because I was just on a training trip with the girls. So Esma and I raced in the same collegiate race at IU, and that's how we know each other. And so I was just on a training trip with the college girls that are on my team that I used to be on when I was in college. And there's this like anonymous website and you can post on it, right? And so you don't have to like say who you are. You can post anything. So it's like a Reddit board, but just for this one like collegiate cycling race where everyone's in this like bubble. And I told all of them, I was like, you guys, you have to have like such a hard head. And I was like I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me. And I was like, you know why? Because if they barely know me and they're not friends with me, why would I care what they need to think about me? So it is like stuff like that where it is hard though to like get into that groove of just being like, oh, I don't care what random people think about me.
I mean, I feel like I'm a girl's girl, and like I always like want people to like me, and sometimes I have a hard time when I like feel like someone doesn't like me and I'm like, I don't even know what I did. Like but at the same time it's just like, okay, well, whatever. Like that's a lost opportunity at a friendship, so it's not on me, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I can say for the record, Kendall is a girl's girl. I like, she's such a great like leader and like mentor, and she's so like caring and nurturing. And I feel like a lot of people don't see that side of her, because like you're racing against someone, you're like, I'm not gonna help you, but you know, as like on the teammate side, it's really beautiful, and it's really cool to watch. And it's like Mama Kendall, she's the best.
I think
Mother henning everyone. Yes,
I think too, like people always think that like these pro athletes, like I thought this with Sophia too. I was like, oh my gosh, if I walk up to her and just start talking to her about her coming on the podcast, she's gonna like be acting weird. But like she was so nice. And so Kendall, I literally, this is like such a random story. So I saw you in an airport once. You walked like literally right by where I was sitting, and you were sitting at the same restaurant, and I was like, oh my God, that's Kendall Ryan. And then I was like, I can't say anything because I'm too scared. But I was like, these people are so nice.
You should have. Yeah, I'm just in my own little world, la la la.
And then I could have just been like, oh my gosh, remember that weird? No, me too. So
yeah, I wouldn't approach Grace in the airport.
Yeah. No, my mom literally saw an episode, the one that Sophia was on. My mom was like, Grace, you look so unhappy. And I was like, I can't help it.
Like, I'm so sorry about my resting bitch face, but I'm actually really nice. I need that on my
shirt. Wait, so can you guys talk about the formation of the Caldera, birth?
Caldera Medical Warrior Racing.
Yes. I was like trying to revise saying that all, and I was like, I think the girls have got this.
You'll get used to it. It'll roll off your tongue a few practices, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Laurel. I've been talking for too long.
Sorry, I'm back, baby. Man, I think both of us just independently have had the idea of like, how cool would it be to have like our own women's team one day? And I think there's only so many times you can look at something and been like, I could do this a lot better before you actually have to back that statement up. And I think Kendall said the quiet part out loud of like, if we could do it a lot better, we should probably just do it. So
Do it ourselves.
that's kind of what we're doing. I think it just took meeting the right person and the right things unfolding for us to be like, we have to do this and we have to do this now. And we didn't know anything. We didn't really plan. We didn't really like have anything planned, but it was just like, all right, between you and me, like we can make this happen. Like we know
we have enough contacts. Between the two of us.
But we're also like very competent people, and I think there's definitely a skill and needed to like run a team outside of just knowing people, and that's been actually something we've talked to a lot of partners about during our pitch. Is like there's a lot of problems with cycling teams, and I think the main thing is that you get someone that's like just sort of like a dreamer that's like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, but they don't actually have the skills to manage people, because the teams are a business. And I think then you run into like a lot of money issues, or you get bad actors. And I was like, I work in accounting. I am an accountant. I do a lot of accounting, finance, business development. So being able to like build the pitch decks, do the sales pitches, and then also being like, this is our budget. Like, we're not going to just randomly run out of money halfway through the season. We got this really dialed. Kendall is probably maybe the most like amazing manager I've seen. She's so dialed on like keeping track of everything and following up with everyone. And just
I'm always micromanaging Laurel.
She is, and it's phenomenal. I have no issues with it, but she's so good, and I think that's so important because, like, I got a lot of stuff going on over here, and Kendall does too. But she definitely keeps us like so grounded and so focused on like, all right, this is what needs to get done. We got to do this. We got to do this. And I think together we're just like such a great little team.
We're a good team.
But Kendall was definitely the push to be like, let's do this.
I'm kind of a hammerhead, I must admit. I'm like, determination, we're getting this done, now it's happening.
Yes. But we didn't know anything. We figured it all out by ourselves with a little help of Google. We were like, how to form LLC. How to open bank account with my friend. Like,
I know. We're basically married now, actually. Like, we have a joint account.
Like, that's more than either of us have with our partners. That was a big day. That was a big day for us. I was like, oh, no rings on my fingers. That's crazy.
We have matching necklaces though. So
we do have matching necklaces.
Start.
Right.
Wait, that's cute.
It was really cute. It was like, that was one of the first things like Kendall did for me. He showed up at a race and I was like, oh, I like your necklace.
Oh, that's so cute.
Thanks. And then literally the next race, she's like, I have one for you. It was so cute.
Kendall's
really
boyfriend's going to be like, stop spending so much time with Laurel. They're now married.
Yeah. No, he's cool. He came to race some, or he didn't come to race. He came to watch some of the track racing in LA. And we met, and we became good friends.
He's like, so this is your side piece.
He's like, this is all right. If it's gonna be anybody, it's all right. I'm glad it's me. Yeah, but we're cool. We're cool.
Yeah, yeah. Laurel is taller than him too, so
yeah. His biggest competition is me.
Yeah.
How did you girls go about like picking the roster for the team?
So we had we're like, let's start a team with a bunch of our friends, and but all of our friends happen to be badass women at the same time. So we wanted to have like a few, young guns, like development riders, and then also we wanted a few riders that were older that had like knowledge, and we wanted to kind of bust down a couple barriers in the sport. So of course, Laurel and I And then we wanted to bring on a para athlete. And so we have a para Olympic champion in time trial. She's also a world champion, like super badass chick. And she's doing all the able-bodied races with us. I'm learning these new terms. But yeah, she would show up to these local races, and she's like the one on the front, like pulling everyone around, making the race fast. And I've always thought that she was like so good, so talented. But she wasn't always at, any other races because she was doing her, para schedule and off being amazing. And so I was like, it'd be really cool is if she hopped in some glip crits with us. And so yeah, approached her, and she was like really excited to be on the team. And I think she was like, I really wanted to be on Legion. I really wanted to be on like all these other teams, but it just like never really happened. And she's like, this is so cool. Like, I can't wait to, hop in these races with you guys and tear it up. So I'm really excited that she's on the team. And then we have Chloe Patrick, who is, she's like insanely strong. A really talented rider. She's U23 national TT champion. She was
also like a crit legend.
Former crit national U23 champion. She's like, she can TT and she can sprint. Like she's a weapon. Yeah.
A woman with many talents.
Yeah. She's such a smart racer too. Like if you're gonna watch anyone, and for being so young. Yeah. Awesome.
I was gonna say, like, she has like a really good race brain. Like watching her race is amazing. Like I was watching her race on the track in Italy, went and raced together, and we did the Madison together. We got 5th, and we're literally racing against the Olympic champion. Like we're racing against really fast people. And so we got 5th in that race, and then she got 3rd in the elimination race.
Dang.
And watching her race, I was like, I haven't seen someone race like that since since Jennifer Valente.
Aww.
I was like, she's like the next big like track talent. And so I just wanted I wanted her on the team because I wanted to give her a place that like, people that understand the process, and like I want to see her just go like this, So I want her to have like a really supportive place where she can just go to as many, national team camps as she needs to go to. And no one's going to tell her no, because we're all just going to be like, yes, go.
I was racing against her out in SoCal, for the last couple of years, even before that. And I mean, she was incredible. She was a junior. She was kicking my ass in these races as I was like kind of coming back into racing. And then people would be like, did you win the race? I was like, no, but I lost to this junior, but she's really good. Like, she's really good. She's really good. And then I think it was a couple years ago in Louisville, and she was like 3rd at Pro Crit Nats. And I was like, see everybody? See who I'm losing to? Like, it like really validated my losing. I was so stoked that she's just like, I feel like that was like a big breakout race where she was just like, okay, yeah, I'm here. I'm the best. So, she's saying that. And
she has arrived.
Last year, racing in Europe too. And I think another important element of just the people that are on our team, like our friends, for sure, badass women, for sure. But there was also this element of, we don't have anything guaranteed. Like, we're figuring this out. And there were some people that I think cannot handle that, like could not handle the uncertainty of like, are we going to get a title sponsor? Are we actually going to pull this off? Can we do this? Like, there were so many unanswered questions as we were going through this. There's still a lot of unanswered questions, but everyone on the roster now is just like, I believe in the team. I believe in you guys. And I'm also going to do like my part to bring in sponsors and to bring in help. And everyone on the team has. So that was like a really, really cool thing. It was just people believing in the vision without any sort of guarantee. So just big thanks to our friends that stuck with us and never really had any doubt that
you've got some badass sponsors though.
Yeah, we have some amazing
When
sponsors.
I saw them drop in, I was like, one more space.
One more.
That's so
Are you a
good.
foreign rider?
The British roads are terrible.
Yeah.
I escaped there, don't worry.
And then I wanted to add Esma on because I started coaching her, last year, and I was like, she's got a lot of potential. I was like, I think like she just needs a really good environment and a lot of supportive people around her. And then I think she's just going to have a really great like breakout year with just having like all the knowledge from, all the riders on the team, guiding her in the right path, showing her, where to ride, where to be. Like, it's like you have the motor, you have the pop in a sprint, like you have the capabilities, you have all the tools in the toolbox. And I think like, if we can just kind of like aim you in the right direction, like you're gonna surprise yourself and surprise all of us. So I'm really excited.
Every time I'm on the bike the last year, I've been like, okay, I'm following Laurel, I'm following Kendall, like I'm visualizing it all. I can't wait.
But the funniest thing though is when Esma's saying I'm following Laurel and I'm following Kendall, just know that I'm following Esma, so it like trickles down.
So like, follow me to freedom, girls. Yeah. Everyone's coming.
But I think also like a strong racer is it's like the environment around them is the biggest part of what makes them a fast rider. And I mean, as having these girls behind you is going to be a huge boost in itself. Because I think, like Kendall, it was a good point you mentioned when you were like, I just had to take myself out of Europe because it didn't work for me. And it was Michaela Thompson. I don't know if you guys know. She races like on mountain bike and gravel, but she made a really interesting point the other day that she went to Tucson because everyone's going there, everyone's training. She was doing 2-week camp. She said she lasted a week there and then came back to Durango because although it was amazing, that environment wasn't working for her head and her training was going worse. So I think like an environment for an athlete is whether it's a team or people around you or like where you're training is so important.
Yeah, totally. I think I was, the longest stints I would spend over there is about 3 months. Yeah. But I would just be so toast when I got back. I didn't even want to look at my bike, so like getting to that point and you're just like always like, why am I doing this? And I was like, I hate feeling like that. So it was definitely time to like just switch gears and do something else. But I still love racing bikes. So I was like, I got to figure out, what I want to do and what's going to work for me.
Yeah.
Travel's tough. Like you get sick a lot, just spending time outside, I think your normal environment. And I think the cool thing about cycling is like there's so many different sort of like disciplines and avenues and ways to enjoy the sport, whether you're like racing or just riding. Like you can be doing, the super fast, kind of little sketchy crit racing, or or you can be like off doing those crazy like ultra endurance, races and kind of by yourself and self-supported in the mountains doing stuff. It's just, I think the range and the variety of what you can do in the sport is amazing, and it's just you really have to find what you like and what's good, and maybe that isn't what everyone
find your
else
niche
is doing.
Yeah, for sure. When will your team like all be together for the first time, or have you done that?
Oh wait, I left out Urelli. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say we haven't mentioned Urelli.
One more.
Sorry, one more.
Una más. Urelli is from Mexico. And she's an Olympian, on the road, on the track, and absolute badass. I was teammates with her on Legion. And she's just a selfless teammate, but also like, a firecracker and a really good savvy rider, sprinter. So she kind of does it all, and she also is the most hilarious person I've ever met. And so she just keeps the good vibes. And we need to have a funny person on the team, keep everyone laughing. So
she's definitely someone that can do it all. It's awesome. Yeah. She's a great teammate. And she is so funny. I've never met anyone that's like, I didn't like you really. Like, she's so cool. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And she started bringing us down to race in Mexico. So Kendall went a couple years ago down to race in Guadalajara. I really
Zapopan.
What solidified my relationship with Aurelia is I joined Legion halfway through the year, and we were like, so we got like a half of race season in, but I wasn't at all the races. She wasn't, I think, at all the same races. So we had like met and we were nice. But I randomly, the last race of the season at Bucks didn't go well. And someone was like, oh, there's this race down in Mexico that Urelia's doing. You could probably stay with her. And so like that week I was like, hey, can I come stay with you? I booked a flight. I didn't really know her. And then after like racing in Mexico and having just maybe like one of the most fun, but also insane, chaotic races ever. We were like, oh, okay, we're best friends now. This is awesome. But it was so cool that she's just like, yeah, come stay with me. I'll take care of you. I'll facilitate us racing together. And the race that we did, it was in this town called Zacapu. And it's always on like Mexican Independence Day. So it's a crazy party. It's like a 4K circuit. Roads, not great. There's also like no barriers. Everybody's partying. The whole like 4K loop is packed with people. People get there like days early, like put out their tents, put out their chairs. Everybody claims their stake. And then everyone's like partying and drunk. So sometimes there's people walking in the street. There's like stray dogs going. Like it rains.
I was going to say the dogs.
It's like, it was chaos, but it was also like the most fun that I've ever had. And then there's another race that Kendall had done in Zapopan. We're actually, I think it's Zapopan.
No, it's Zapopan. That's what they told me anyway.
We were Zapopan. Zapopan.
Chat, how do we say this?
Yeah, let's have a debate. Who's right? I'm probably wrong. I would trust Kendall. We're going to go race there in 2 months. So I think that will be kind of maybe the first race that we do as a team. And maybe I think we'll have our team camp just before that.
That's the goal.
Amazing.
Yeah. Into February, beginning of March. There's a lot of, we learned a lot of hurdles, a lot of struggles of organizing and getting everything done, because if we're not signing contracts with companies until the end of the year, getting that turnaround to also getting product in the next 2 months is really, really tough. We found out. So all the sponsors that we worked with have been great, and we're super grateful for them. We just understand like everybody is putting their order in at the same time. Yeah. And so it just creates like I'm sure that is really tough. So just trying to figure out like what's the soonest we can get stuff, but also
this
like
time of year is actually so frustrating.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can imagine.
You guys didn't need to worry. It's just everyone's in this position, I feel like.
And I'm like, hey, when's our stuff coming? Like, and there was even 100 emails of those a day. So.
Just checking in again.
just checking in. You know how many times I've just checked in. Yeah. There's a really fine line
back on this.
Yeah.
Bumping this back to the top of your inbox.
Hey, bumping this up. Yeah. Just to revisit. I think there's a fine line between like, I'm being proactive. I'm following up versus like, I'm just really annoying. So I'm trying to find that line and go just to the edge of it. Yeah. It's been tough, but also so fun, so rewarding. Yeah. It's just taken so much time. I don't know if we underestimated how much time it would take. I think we just didn't know what we didn't know. And so we've found out a lot of things, and definitely wouldn't have it any other way. But it's a lot.
It's incredible. The payoff too is going to be so cool. Yeah. Like at team camp and at your first race and at the end of the year, you guys are going to be like, "Holy shit, we did this! Like we created this. We brought this group of people together. We've got had a few
moments like that where we'd be like, dude, what's happening? We're doing this. This is awesome."
I think I'm more looking forward to. I think we were like, what are we looking forward to in 2026? It's like, I don't know the moment yet that we're gonna look at each other and be like, holy fucking shit, we just did this.
I feel like once all the custom kits and all the helmets and all the things that were like, for our like final our final form. Like, I'm just really excited to see everyone all decked out in their gear and like we're all together. Oh my God, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna cry probably.
I think that's probably gonna be the moment.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
but
it hasn't happened
that's what
yet.
I'm like most looking forward to.
Wait,
being like,
I love that Kendall's a crier because she just does not strike me as a crier. And I don't strike a lot of people as a crier either, but I am. So I love that you're just like, I'm probably just going to cry.
we're just softies. Yeah.
Definitely a softie. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, when we were talking about, I was talking about just going through like a lot of struggles with the crash that I had last week. And Kendall started crying. I wasn't even crying yet. She was already crying, just like hearing me talk about it. Yeah, just very, very empathetic person and
yes,
very, very caring.
Yeah, it's amazing what you're both doing for the sport and especially for women.
You.
So yeah, congratulations to you both.
Thank you. I do think it's a really, really exciting time in women's sports. Like there's so many more, like I think you see a lot of reports of like, you know, the percentage of increase in growth, you know, compared to the men's is so much larger. And
there's so much momentum.
And then so many more companies now being like, oh, well, there's a women's team involved, you know, I'll sponsor, I'll partner with this team. So just opening up the door to, you know, whole different realm of different like potential partnerships and sponsorships and companies to help like come in and elevate and improve the sport too is really important. So really good momentum. And then you think about LA 2028 games and us all having like, you know, SoCal roots for the most part. So that is, I think, a big driving force of a lot of companies, especially in California and Southern California, wanting to be involved in like, how can I help do something and play this small part, you know, for home Olympics, which, you know, is such a rare thing to get. So it is really exciting. There's a lot of good momentum and we're super grateful to all the people that have just reached out and said, hey, how can I help? Like the amount of people that have reached out and just been like, how can I help is so overwhelming because for the most part, you're like, I'm not really sure yet, but just that you're offering is so nice. And I think that really validates Kendall and I are doing something right and have been doing something right to just receive so much love and support from people that we know and then also people that we don't know. It was really good.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So we are also going to be doing women's rides. So we're working on the website, Esma. Esma's building the website. And so we're basically like almost we're gonna have 8 rides and we're basically just gonna be essentially like in our minds we're like, okay, well, let's go back to like the basics of like when you're a junior, what are you doing? You're doing skills, you're doing, you know, like fun bumping drills, you're doing all these things. And there's like some women out there that like haven't done any of those things. They just ride their bike hard, you know? And so we kind of wanted to like incorporate those kind of things, even though they're just like maybe childish things to some people, they're just so helpful. And so I think like we're going to do some women's rides where we have like skills and drills and we'll have like Q&A session and, you know, a ride obviously. So, we're going to host that like 8 times throughout the year, at Encinitas and, at the Cadence Bike Shop, where Laurel lives. And we're going to have one at the Athens Twilight, like before the Athens Twilight race. And then we're going to do a few throughout the year. I can't really think off the top of my head right now, but we'll be listing those on our website and kind of everywhere just to let people know like what we're doing. And yeah, we kind of want everyone to show up, not just women, but yeah, like it's definitely focused around women and helping them out. So
yeah.
Also, was really wanted to do like a lot of activations for the this year, and we thought about what was important to us, and I think what would also be helpful because what we said about doing those junior camps growing up, like did a bunch of those skills, but there's so many women that come into the sport and like right after college, usually, of being like, okay, I was a professional, or I was like a college runner, I was a college rower, I played soccer, like just coming from so many different sports. I guess maybe don't have like those like fundamentals that you kind of learn as a junior. And so just sort of lowering that barrier to entry and being like, this is sort of just like a women's ride, girls hanging out. And then we could just do like skills and socials, is I think just something that's like really important to us, and will also help, I think, make the racing a little bit safer too. And we're really excited to have those all throughout the US. And we'll have like one at Tulsa. We're also partnering with like SRAM in Chicago to host them as well. So it's really good. And that is, another way that we're like, oh, how can we help improve the sport? How can we help give back instead of just taking something from it?
Yeah. That's so cool. Look at you guys.
I'm so excited.
You guys are a good team.
Anyways, I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, so I'll come. No, I honestly, like at this training trip that I was on for the girls, for my college team, we did like the water bottle pickup drill. And I was like, oh yeah, like here's how it works, like write up, whatever, pick it up. And I like literally went to pick it up and I like almost ate shit. And then I was like, see, I mean, I haven't done this in 3 years. So it's like good for me.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is going to be so simple, or it's so whatever, but you don't realize like how much balance and coordination those little things take. But like when you do those things and you're just like, it makes you so much more comfortable and confident on the bike. And like, you're like, I can literally like touch the ground, on my bike. So I think I could take, a bump here and there. Like, it's not that bad, like you can literally ride next to somebody and lean on them, and keep riding. Like, it's like just mentally knowing those things just gives you a lot more confidence. And then all those little things, little race occurrences, they just don't phase you as much, and it's just kind of like, another thing. I feel like, sometimes you randomly like will bump somebody in a race. It'll be an accident, but they'll freak out. And because they just like really don't like being touched, or really don't aren't prepared for that. And they get like a speed wobble or whatever. And so, you just like, I think we need to kind of also break down those barriers of like, it's okay to like, it's bumping's racing, like, like it happens. But it's nothing to like get scared about. It's just like, it just happens and you move on and keep going. So we want to help people with that. So
Grace, you gotta make sure you rough up the college girls so they're prepared.
I know they were doing bumping stuff, and then I was like pushing their hips.
Nice.
But when Esma came on my like senior year college training trip, and she would like tickle my armpits, and I was like,
there's a fine line though, like you can't use these skills to like hurt somebody or like
just take
mess with somebody's race. But like, obviously this is something in your toolbox. So like, it's not going to phase you in a race if you're getting bumped or whatever. You just kind of keep racing forward.
Tickled.
Yeah. Just to protect yourself, which is important. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. Do you have anything else that you want to share? Any juicy tea?
Oh, yeah.
Any crit drama?
Oh my goodness.
Do you guys need a water boy on the team? I could be the water boy.
Water girl.
We would love that. We love a water girl.
Okay, sweet.
We definitely, I think there's a lot of questions on like, can we add people? What are we doing? Can we have a junior team? I think there's a lot of things. It's important to say this isn't like a 1-year team that we're doing. It's not even like just like a couple years. It's going to go for a long time. We're going to make sure that happens. And we do want to build out the team to obviously include more riders, more opportunities, development team, junior team, just not there yet. And so while that is like, it's on our horizon and we want to do what we can, but like right now I feel like we're maxed out for as much as like Kendall and I can do and can manage and can bring on. And so like the vision is there and we want to do it. I just don't think we can do anything outside of really like the 6 riders that we have right now. We want to make sure that everyone is really taken care of, because sometimes I think you see teams sort of like spread out resources too
Right,
thin. They're
fast.
just like bringing on too many people.
Yeah.
It's like, let's
Get too big too quick.
let's take care of the riders that we have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like, and we're going to do this and we're going to do it right. And so that
Yeah.
everything
Quality, proof of function. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
love
sure.
that.
For sure.
Well,
and I
well,
think
for
there's,
you guys.
yeah.
We'll have to get you guys on again, like either halfway through the season, or that might be too hectic. Maybe at the end of the season, just to talk about it, like like how it all went and everything, and
Yeah.
see
So
where you're
this
at. in
is
a
how
year.
how it started
Yeah.
versus how it's
We are
going.
Dominating. That's what you
Yeah.
want to say.
Yeah.
So
For
good.
sure. It's going to be
Yeah.
good. Thank you guys so
Okay.
much. I love, dude, I love getting the girls together. It's so good. Because sometimes
Thanks for
there
having
is
us on
this-
the Bonk Babes.
Yes, I think
on.
sometimes in female sports and just, females in general, it's sort of this like, oh, there's these limited opportunities like for women in the sport or in the space. And it's like, oh, so I have to take what's mine instead of being like, all right, how can we help each other out so that we can like get more opportunities in the sport? Really just this like, rising tides, raises all ships. And that's sort of the approach that we're taking is like, we're like, let's everybody help everybody, like help us out.
Yeah.
Like we're all kind of fighting the same battle. So
Sure.
Yeah. It's not us
Cool.
against the world.
exactly. It's like we all gotta help each other out. So, yeah. Thank
That's
you
a good
guys for
approach.
all the
Thank
support.
you.
Yeah.
We love the girls.
We'll be
guys.
following.
The girls are girling.
Yeah,
The girls are girling.
They are.
They're out
they
here.
are.